So I think that there are some very positive things that can be learned from looking at some of these organizations that are doing this well. If you hop on my LinkedIn feed, or when I hop on my LinkedIn feed, I am seeing all the time discovery days from these companies that have maybe 3, 4, 5 different brands underneath the same roof. The business opportunity for the franchisor, but also for the franchisees if they have multiple brands that they could buy from the same partner, build their empire, expand it. And we're back with another episode of Franchise My Business, the podcast for franchisors, hosted by franchisors. Today we're going to talk about holding companies. Holding companies in the franchise space are really pretty prominent and I would say growing trend. And I've had the unique opportunity to work within kind of a holding company. So my last organization, we had 3 different franchise brands, and while they were separate owned entities, we eventually did, I believe, form a kind of a holding company legal structure that they all fell under. But moreover, I don't really care about the taxation benefits and financial benefits. I want to talk about just the awesome benefits, the return on awesome that a holding company can provide to a portfolio of franchise brands, particularly if they're in similar types of industries. So I'm going to speak directly just coming from my previous experience, which was in real estate as well as auctions. We had a rural real estate business, United Country Real Estate. We had a major metropolitan real estate business, United Real Estate. And then we have an auction franchise for auctioneers, because a lot of commodities and land and things like that in rural America are sold via auction. And so we had a franchise for auctioneers. And when I joined that organization back in 2007, one of the first things they brought me in to do was create a shared services marketing organization to support. At that point in time, we just had 2 of those brands, but then by the time I left, we had 3 of those brands. And that's when I first got exposed to this whole really shared services across multiple brands types of structure within a business. And it's really freaking smart. I mean, if you think about the opportunity to have, let's just talk about marketing. So you've got marketing professionals who are already used to serving customers, internal customers. They already understand the culture of the organization. They understand the brand standards. They're in the same building maybe with folks that are specializing in other past aspects of the business. There are some substantial efficiencies that can be created through basically that shared services ecosystem that a holding company is able to provide. Now, a lot of holding companies operate where they don't offer shared services across different brands, but I think within franchising, just overall, what we're seeing is a macro trend that those resources are shared across multiple brands. But you might see holding companies outside of franchising where it is more of just a conglomerate that has a bunch of different brands that maybe are in the same industry. TinyCo is an example of one, for example. They bought a bunch of Shopify theme types of developers, plugins, just stuff around e-commerce and technology. They have other brands as well. But I don't know that they are sharing a lot of the kind of back office resources across the portfolio brands like a franchisor would. The franchisor, if you hop on my LinkedIn feed, or when I hop on my LinkedIn feed, I am seeing all the time discovery days from these companies that have, maybe 3, 4, 5 different brands underneath the same roof. And one of the macro efficiencies that I see is just having one home office where you can come and bring your franchisees and bring them in for orientation, support, all of those things, team building to know that they've got a team, whatnot. So I think that part of the holding company business model is really cool, being able to have a smaller footprint for your support center, but still having individualized, orientations and things like that are customized to whatever brand you're onboarding that week or whatever. So I think that there's some very positive things that can be learned from looking at some of these organizations that are doing this well. United Franchise Group is one. I'm just going to rattle some off the top of my head. We got United Franchise Group. They've got, like 10 something brands, 12 brands. They're doing a lot of really cool things. Wellbiz Brands is doing a lot of cool things. You've got the United Real Estate Group, which is my old company. And if you look at what they've done, it's actually even cooler. Like they've taken, they've got some technology and whatnot that's applicable and helpful for a lot of real estate brands, and they've got franchised, locations, but then they've also got affiliated brands that are using some of their intellectual property. I don't know if legally they're franchisers or not. I don't care, but I think that it's really cool that they've built a platform that can support other brands under the United Real Estate Group. So just do a Google search on this stuff. I know that there's a ton of other organizations that are offering this type of model. And what does this mean for you? As a franchisor, if you have one of these businesses, like let's say you've got one brand that you start with and then you spin up another brand, you're most likely people that are going to buy that other franchise brand or your initial franchisees for your other brands, your existing franchisees. I can tell you that like definitively. We see that play out over and over again because they already believe like in the management team, they already have a relationship. And it's, if I'm looking to expand my services, maybe it's even something that's complementary, right? That, I can sell the same thing to my existing customers. It's just like a different type of service, but it's something else that they need, right? To me, that's like a super attractive value prop, not only for the franchisor, because you probably know who the first people are that are going to adopt your new brand, but also for the franchisee, because you already have like your local geography nailed down with your, brand one, and then you could go add brand two to the portfolio. And to me, there's just so much serendipity involved in it. It'd be cool to really tap into this like from the finance perspective one day, but that's just not really what makes me happy. What makes me happy is seeing the brands being able to be supported from a shared services perspective, and then furthermore, the business opportunity for the franchisor, but also for the franchisees if they have multiple brands that they could buy from the same partner, build their empire, expand it. So there you go. Just a little talk on holding companies. If you want to do research on this, I just hop onto Google and check it out and go down the rabbit hole and see what works best for you. As well as if you're thinking about investing in a franchise, you might look at somebody who's got multiple brands under the same roof, because who knows, maybe you'll be operating different flags, a couple different flags at the same time. Till next time, I'm your host, Kevin Oldham. I hope that you have a phenomenal week and be well.